What is the love imprint? The love imprint is the fragmented experience of bonded attachment as relationship, love, and intimacy that we learn from our family of origin and we carry with us unconsciously as a pattern into our adult relationships. It's ancestral in nature and carries forward over many generations, extending as far back as 7 generations and extending equally into the future via our children if it's not resolved. These patterns become programs in the DNA, and they're activated when we enter our family of origin environment at birth. For those who have the soul path to lose or break apart from the family of origin at birth or in early childhood are placed in a foster or a step or an adoptive family environment, they will be imprinted equally with both patterns of origin. Even when we lose a parent or have no intimate exposure to them as an infant or a young child, we still have the ancestral imprint embedded in our DNA. Let's talk about the soul purpose of our relationships. The soul creates this imprint, this love imprint, with its unique set of distortions around bonded attachment as love and intimacy as part of its karmic learning journey. The soul has one core lesson on an embodiment journey, to learn about and return to its true origin frequency. This is the frequency of unconditional love as the unified divine frequency of creation. This is what we're actually made of. We are pure divine love as very unique vibrational expressions. The soul learns the fastest when it's in a container of contrast. That means we learn our soul lessons most efficiently by experiencing what love is not. And this is what the love imprint is. Anti-love, or what love is not. And there's so many variations of learning these lessons. It can require many journeys into duality to explore all its facets and nuances. Sometimes we may be learning about self-love. Other times we may be learning as the idea of sacrifice as love, or about power imbalances that disturb the gentle aura of our living resonance. There are myriad faces of bonded attachment distortion, and your soul incarnated into your particular family of origin to imprint your body and your nervous system in this lifetime with the lesson that it needs to complete. The threads of our soul journey weave into many time-space continuum and eras, but this momentum is collected into the now of your current lifetime as an amalgamation of your journey. You choose your birth parents and your closest family, friends, and partners as karmic contracts to give your soul the best chances of resolving its love imprint distortions. The ancestral lineage is the place that humanity's soul collective passes on these distortions, carrying them from generation to generation. This can make the resolution of distortions very challenging, as we're totally surrounded with the fragmented energetics in our familiar and intimate environment. To learn something different, we're going to have to seek out beyond this closed system to find some new information about what might be healthy or possible beyond it. For much of our recent known human history, travel afar was limited and difficult, and information about self-development was rare or non-existent. So the majority of souls didn't ever differentiate from their family of origin patterning. These ancestral wounds are really embedded powerfully and carried from generation to generation. Many souls awakening today, as they evolve into their higher consciousness, will need to split from their family or environment of origin, either partially or completely. As we evolve beyond this core karmic patterning, we're going to draw to us higher soulmates and soul family in all different guises that are going to assist us further in resolving our shadows and our inner fragmentation patterns to move beyond what was possible in the family of origin dynamics we learned. When we undertake the path of ascension, we're called to resolve all lifetimes of karmic, egoic shadow distortion And we require a larger pool of souls to show us the many facets of this inner fragmentation. So we really are going on a journey to find ourselves. And the contrast of relationship is one of the key tools that the soul uses. The fragmentation of self and the attempts to hide this inner fragmentation of identity from ourselves and from others is the key to understanding our current life conflicts and challenges. We'll find as we progress on our journey of awakening that we're reclaiming the right to uniquely express ourselves without any hindrance, without any sense of obligation or judgment from anybody outside of us. Most challenges in intimacy come from not wanting to be seen fully. That's the root meaning of intimacy, to be seen. The parts of us that we hide in our relationships are the parts that are afraid to be witnessed because they fear rejection or abandonment or judgment or even being attacked. Humans have been conditioned so deeply to pretend to fit in so they'll be accepted and so we can survive as part of groups. It's an ancient biological instinct to understand that being alone is actually highly dangerous when you're in an environment where survival and basic biological need fulfillment and physical safety are really of paramount concern. Our families of origin were steeped in these fears of survival tactics for how families stayed together as clans and tribes to survive. To remain part of these groups was needed to play by the rules of engagement that were established by the group leadership and passed down by generational understanding and authority. Some tribal cultures displayed some great wisdom about protecting the sanctity of the individual within the group. But the majority of our 3D family and cultural groupings did not value this sort of wisdom. And they instead passed on the rules for living to survive and how to get along with the reality of the harsh environment around them. Individuality was a luxury that could not be afforded. So now just think back to your own family in this more modern time. Were they demonstrating care and acceptance based on teaching you their idea of what a successful life looked like? Did success equate to their idea of how to survive or excel in life according to what they learned from their parents? Here's a few examples. A wealthy family of status, they might teach their children that surviving meant excelling at being the best of the best by attending elite institutions, by playing by the rules of engagement for very complex social etiquette and privilege in the world of wealth and status. So in this environment, perhaps education, social status, and economic rules were emphasized as of the utmost importance for success as their idea of survival. A blue-collar working-class family would be different. They might pass on their own set of the rules of engagement for what was even possible in life. They might have a belief that sacrifices, hard work, and manual labor would be the only way to bring you success and put food on your family's table. And so here maybe ideas like loyalty or very divided gender roles or self-sacrifice might have been taught as the most important things for success as survival. Say you were in a family that had very deep religious beliefs and convictions and a community practice, and it might teach according to their scriptures and dogmas what was allowed and what was not. And maybe this included even not allowing those who were outside of the group lineage to join in the community of origin structure. Here, what was most important could be the acceptance of the doctrines or the insularity or the moral beliefs, and that's what was stressed as the most important for success as survival. What we call cultural stereotypes, if we look a little closer, are collective patterns of groups, social, moral, and economic behaviors that are shared and copied within the group over generations. We likely absorbed several layers of these stereotypical patterns from our family of origin environment. We could have had one at home, we could have learned another one at our church or our religious institution, and we could have learned some different things in schools and different other social institutions. And they all kind of form together as the rules of engagement for how we live in life. So looking back at your own experience, If you ever chose to rebel against these group norms, which many adolescents do, were you threatened with punishment or even exile? Were affection or acceptance or even basic care of needs and support provided only if you agreed with the group rules of engagement? What would happen or did happen if you broke the rules and you chose to do something different or that were contrary to what the beliefs and the group's rules were? That could be the rules of your parents, could be the rules of the church, could be any rules of engagement that were around you in your family of origin environment. Did the conditions of your care, support, and protection change if you disagreed with them and didn't follow them? Did your family or group of origin demonstrate the expression of true, unconditional love to you and let you be fully who you chose to be? I kind of doubt many of us had the experience of being unconditionally supported, nurtured, and understood for truly who we were. Remember, that's what our 3D experience in duality is about, contrast. And it's based in conditioned beliefs founded upon fear and bias. Love and fear are opposite frequencies. While this training and indoctrination that we receive from our family of origin may have been well intended, it was not demonstrating likely actual divine love. And this isn't about bashing our parents or our family of origins. They were passing on the only knowledge they knew and received. They did the best they could. It probably came from a desire to protect their offspring and to prepare them for life in the best way they knew how to do this. But many today are needing to explore far beyond the models of care and intimacy that they learned from their limited family of origin imprint and find new ways of living that allow the full expression of their being and essence. And if we're on an awakening journey, that means the expression of our being and essence as expressed through our inherent and internal divinity. We're not talking about the version of self that is fragmented and largely unconscious as an identity, the one that we created to fit in and survive into that family of origin environment. Our divine origin is our true family of origin, our monadic soul spirit essence. It's the source of life within us that gives us all that we need and desire, that gives us safety, that gives us that unconditional love. Its goal for human incarnation is to return to a state of uninhibited self-expression as pure unconditional love, to become the frequency of divinity, uniquely expressed and embodied into form. The oddest thing I found in my own journey and in my clients from all over the world, and they're from every imaginable social, economic, cultural background, different ages, different generations, is that even when they begin to awaken, these old ancestral imprints remain very insistent and unresolved within their unconscious instinctive biological programming. They show up blatantly and painfully when they enter the container of intimacy. These old imprints take diligence to uncover and resolve into conscious wholeness. They say Earth School is the hardest and most challenging learning environment there is for evolving souls. And learning to have fully conscious, intimate relationships can be the most difficult journey of all. And I think you're starting to see why, after all that we've learned in our course here and after you review your own unique journey and experience. This is why the path of sacred relationship is one of the most challenging paths, but it can lead you truly towards mastery.